Please enjoy this feature presentation of the Crooked River Radio Network. This program is rated for all audiences.
Four Guys on Sports is sponsored by CrookedRiverRadio.com. Crooked River Radio is an internet radio station that is live 24/7 playing top 40 hits from the 60s through the 80s. You can find us on Live 365, Simple Radio, Roku, Radio Garden, and even Alexa, as well as our website. Come on and join us on the Crooked River.
Good morning.
Morning.
We are live.
Yes, sir.
We are live.
What a week. What a week in sports.
Yes.
Today I want to tell everybody before we get started, I'm gonna have to give some counseling to Nate this afternoon or this morning here. He's feeling really down about the Browns, and we got to help him out a little bit.
Yeah. We're going to have to lay hands on the screen.
That's right. Put your hands on the monitor. Do you feel the electricity coming through your fingers?
Can we get an amen?
Amen. Anyway, we all got actually started 2 days ago when that undisputed truth thing came out. We'll probably play that in a little bit. There's some stuff that we got to cover first. Shawn, do you happen to have the standings as far as where we all are in the pool?
The Tampa Bay win this week. I didn't really catch that game.
Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I had to, in so grumpy last week, and I had some things going on that I could not.
Is not a problem.
Get around, and so.
It's understood. We're gonna have to dock you though.
Yeah, that's right.
I won the game.
Well,
I'm
pretty sure that I got them all right. Anyway, because they all won the ones that I was going to pick. So.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We don't think so.
You know what?
You guys trust me, right?
Huh? You're right, Nate.
About as much as you trust us and Baker.
There you go. You're right. But
hashtag Baker haters anonymous there.
But yeah. The only problem with that, Nate, is some of the ones that you picked the wrong ones. Just
which one did I pick? Because I picked the Chargers over the Browns. Remember I told y'all, said my heart, I said I love the Browns, but
and
last minute you picked Cleveland, man.
I picked Cleveland.
Yeah,
picked Cleveland.
The only one that picked the Chargers was Gordon.
I told you guys last.
Oh man!
I told you guys last week. I had a feeling about that game.
And I think we all did. But the thing of it is part of that was you got to consider. It's like, okay, if they're playing, it depends on where you playing. One thing, and then sometimes because of where you playing, you don't get the favorable calls. That's usually the case. Usually when you're on the road, you usually don't get the favorable calls.
And if there was any issues with that game at all, it was those two stinking calls where they didn't call for a face mask and pass interference.
Yeah,
there was actually two of them there.
Yeah, the really even though Baker didn't do what he needed to do at the end of the game, forget that. The calls, man, the referees determine the outcome of the game, and it was awful.
Between that and the fact nobody's saying anything about the defense on either side. Cleveland's defense gave up 493 yards Jesus flipping criminy.
No
Give me
one
a
said
break.
anything.
Where the hell were they? They may not even been on the field.
You were missing some key players too, right?
Well,
True that.
you're supposed to be deep enough to cover that. And Cleveland said that they were. I don't. There is no excuse for that defense last week.
No, there was
None.
no excuse for that because the players, and they had talked about anyway. What they were missing wasn't like the guys who were covered were that far off the beaten path. They just didn't, as a group, they didn't defend well.
Thank you. They didn't defend well as a group. That the pass rush wasn't what it normally is. And I'm gonna say this: the other part of that, they lost again. Cleveland lost this game as a team, and the reason I say that is this: a couple of things. When you have a player as dynamic as ODB is, or we've seen, and okay. I'm gonna say some of that was Russ. They just not connecting. A little bit of that. I'm gonna say some of that.
That's ridiculous.
And but part of that is this. Sometimes you throw the ball where the defense dictates you throw the ball, and you know that they're going to try and take ODB out the game. They're going to try and take him out of the game. Now, to say this, do you want Baker throwing into tight coverage?
But the point was,
do you want to throw it into tight coverage?
But here, forget that because I understand what you're saying, but they actually ran the numbers this week on two different shows, and there he had no instances like that. Baker, you figure Odell dropped one pass. He only had 3 targets in the game, and he was wide open downfield several times. So Baker decided not to go to Odell for whatever reason he elected not to, which shows that obviously either the chemistry's not there, or Baker doesn't know what he's doing, or the offensive coordinator doesn't know what they're doing, or something is amiss there. But I don't really say I can't say Cleveland lost this game. I have to put the blame where it was. Those weren't calls that were early in the game that had no effect. Those literally determined the outcome of the game. They got robbed, man. I can't. I mean, yeah, it would have been great if they could have went back down the field and scored. That would have been wonderful. But woulda is like if. It is what it is.
They showed
the
a
point is,
picture.
the apparently obvious was the awful call.
Yeah, they showed a picture of the one passing interference where the offensive guy was actually grabbing.
He literally, how can you? There's no way. That's not even one of those bang bang plays where hey they get the better, because of it's in their, on their field, so they get the advantage. No, man, that's like, what is wrong with that? I'm like, man, that guy needs to be made to answer for that. That's an awful call.
Well, but you know what? And you're gonna see them all year when they miss those calls, and a lot of them have bearing on the game. And even in this, Nate, where you say because it was late in the game, sometimes a call at a certain time in a game, it hits at a crucial moment, and it just gives the other team momentum too. Momentum swings. So with that, but also in this, the other thing about this, we touched a little bit on the defense. The pass rush wasn't quite what it has been. Then also, so you got to give kudos to the Chargers on that. Maybe it was the Chargers. Maybe the guys just didn't play well. I don't know. But also in this, when you have a guy like ODB, if you look at the games where they couldn't get very many targets to CeeDee Lamb, what did they do? Man, they run him out the backfield. You find a way to put the ball in his hands as an offensive coordinator. Now, that's the other point of it. You find ways to put the ball in the hands of your most. Look at that picture. Look at that. But
I'm actually going to have 2 of them. I got one more, so just hang in there. I should have set this up before if I would have known.
So you're gonna see that that first game, the Dallas game, against Tampa Bay. into that game. I don't care what nobody say, man. That was pass interference. Dude pushed him down.
Right.
All right, take a look at your screen now.
Look at this one.
Tell me those
Hands
weren't.
to the face.
Tell me those weren't penalties. Those shouldn't have been penalties.
Now they're
Obvious.
and so from the fact of the flip side of that is you have to play well enough. And I'm gonna say this: Cleveland shouldn't have been in them, but they already had a 14-point lead as a unit. They should have played better, so they wouldn't have been in that position. You take the referees out the game now. So it's a lot of blame to go around. I just, up until a certain point, Baker played well up until a point. Now, but my thing is this. If you look at his numbers up to a point, man, he was balling. Now, the other thing is, I see you shaking your head, but you got to realize, I keep telling you, we've already agreed that Baker is not an Aaron Rodgers. He's not a Tom Brady. He's not a Dak Prescott. Baker is not one right now. He's not that dude. Now, will he become that dude? I think in the right situation, he will.
But right now, for me, I don't need him. I'll be fair with him. He doesn't have to be the extraordinary quarterback. I just need him to be, a good quarterback, and he's not a good quarterback. Look at the draft class that he came out in. He came out number 1, and all of the quarterbacks now are better than him, and it's not even close.
Okay.
And so if you were redrafting, he's not sniffing a number.
There's a couple of things that goes into that again, and we just touched on it. Offensive scheme, offensive coordinator. There's a couple of things that goes into that that'll help him get there. And you're right. Because of the height, when you look at Brady was what, 3rd round? Dak was 4th round.
Yeah, and I know those are extraordinary exceptions, but I'm not even looking at, I mean, come on, man, Brady's special. And Dak is starting to look special, but I'm talking, he's just not, man. I'm like, come on, man. You look at the way Joe Burrow performed up against, man, Rodgers, man. My God. Or you look at the way Mac performed up against Brady. I mean, look at the way now a Ragley Chicago team now is suddenly turned around playing the way Fields is playing. Look at the way Trevor Lawrence is. It's like, man, all these young quarterbacks, and they're all so it's like it's a problem for me because these guys are relatively in that same age range, and man, it's like the Baker thing right now is starting to stink.
Okay.
It doesn't look, and I, in all fairness, it may have at least 50% to do with the offensive coordinator. It may have a lot to do with that.
I think so. You want to know one that was if you look at what was that? What's his name? Tannehill. And so what happens a lot of times, coaches coach a certain way, and they don't coach the talent they have. Now, with that, Baker is not, he's not a great quarterback, but he's solid. He came in, and he's shown in certain games he's made all the throws. But there's a couple things that go along with that. It's kind of like this, Nate. I put it to you like this. Okay, there's a cat that he gets in the gym and he practices free throws and he makes it. Come game time, crucial moments, he doesn't make them. What it is some of it is in Baker's head. Some of it is coaching. That's what I think. I'm no expert on all that, but that's what I believe. But to say, my thing is this: Cleveland, with what they have on paper, is a team that's good enough to get to the Super Bowl with what they have on paper. Now, to say this, and I know that they're not going over a 17-game season. All in all, every game they're not going to come out and play lights out. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, but you do need to beat. You need to win. You need to win the game you're supposed to win. And so far, man, they haven't beat anybody.
Yeah.
So they haven't beat anybody good. They beat bums.
Yeah. Yeah. All I
That's
can
sad.
say is those calls could have been turned off, but obvious other way.
And that's how I feel. I do as bad as I feel like Baker played, because you're right, but keep in mind,
Baker
okay,
did play a
14-point
pretty good
deficit.
game otherwise, though.
Yeah, they gave him 2 touchdowns right there. I mean, with the calls. So, and
I will say this about Baker's performance. It was a hell of a lot better than the Vikings game. Vikings game, he was less than 50% accurate. When he went into this Chargers game, his first 9 passes were complete. I don't know what he ended up with actually, but that's what kept that game close, is the fact that his accuracy and no turnovers was really helping that out.
That's the other thing. Thank you. That I meant to touch on. Thank you, Pat, because that right there is he's not doing what he was doing before turning the ball over. Was it year before last?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
2 years ago, he was turning the ball over.
He had like 17 or 18 turnovers that year, something like that. It was almost 20, if I remember rightly.
And then the other thing is this. Come on, bro, can't y'all get some turnovers? Can't we get some turnovers from a defensive standpoint?
Cleveland is soft.
I'm gonna, as far as this Chargers game, I'm gonna answer that. When you got Jadeveon Clowney standing on the sideline, looking like he's completely healthy and not playing the game, there's something wrong there. There was where your turnovers could have been. There was so much wrong with that defense that if I went into it, we'd take the rest of the show up. The simple fact of it was you had a quarterback that was running on you for 20 yards, had a shot. He ran into the end zone once. You got Jadeveon Clowney standing over there, waving his hands around. Oh, yeah, I've got a sore shoulder. Bull crap. Get your ass in there and play.
But my thing is this. Again, like I said, thank you for talking about defense, because nobody talked about that. When you score 42 points, you should win the game.
That was the first time in NFL history the two teams scored 47 or over 40 points, and one ended up losing. There was a first. That was not only a first for the Browns. That was a first in the NFL.
Yeah, 500 yards of offense, 40 points, and what was the 500 yards of offense and 40 points scored,
and 400 and gave up 493 yards in defense.
Scored 40
so they're +7.
But now think about this though. Defense and the officiating, man, they're one and the same in some respects. Those 2 bad calls that resulted in 2 touchdowns, okay, if you take those off the board, okay, that's 14 less points that they have on the board. And that's the quote unquote, those associated yards that they got credit for that they would not have. So I'm like, I mean.
So it would have only been 450 yards.
Yeah, but I'm like, that's 14 points that they wouldn't have never had. So I'm like, for me, I cannot give the officials a break on this.
Oh, I don't think so either.
That is a flat out robbery. Yes, I'm not happy with the way the defense played. I'm not happy with the late game performance from Baker, but forget that. If I take Baker out the equation, I can't help it, man. The officials, man, I mean, they changed, they gave the game away. It was those calls, that's the game. I mean, that's the game right there.
Now, one of the calls that I talk about is the one that the no call pass interference, Rashard Higgins, that was pass interference. Now, that wasn't yardage that Chargers got. That was a potential big play that Cleveland didn't get. Now, because I mean, it was blatant pass interference. But again, and I don't know what it is with this kid, but he never gets a call. You know, he doesn't complain about it, but he never gets a call. This kid is like one of those ones that because I've watched him all through high school, but he's one of those ones that look, you know, I was a long shot, you know, so I come in, I play hard, I keep my mouth shut. I don't want to draw any attention to myself. I just want to go play football. So I admire him for that, but also in that, you know, as a player, you know, you can, you know, you throw your hands up a little bit, but you can't do a whole lot.
You can't do a whole lot, but as a coach, at what point do you make a stink and say, hey, wait a minute now, that's an obvious bad call? Do you not let your team know that you got their back? And do you not let the fan base know that you got your team's back?
Well,
because I'm expecting for an obvious game-changing bad call that I see some emotion from the coach.
But and I agree, and from that is this: at some point, man, you got to get in that referee's ear. Look, dude, y'all missing them. You owe me. You missing them. You are missing those calls. We've seen teams. You know, there hadn't been a team out there in the NFL that has been, you know, lost a game because of a bad call. I never will forget the catch, no catch with Dez Bryant a few years back whenever Cowboys were hot.
And that was controversial though.
And Green Bay, they went back and said, no, that was a catch. He caught the ball, he took 3 steps and fell, and the ball touched the ground. He didn't fumble it, but the ball touched the ground. He said that wasn't a catch. Now, then the worst part about it, even what made it even worse, insult to injury, is Green Bay went to Atlanta and put up a goose egg. Man, them boys got the brakes beat off of them. That was the year. That was Dak and Zeke and Dez. That was, to me, that was that was that opportunity at Super Bowl that they missed off of a horrible call. Now, saying that, you know, we'll never forget about the New Orleans Saints game when the dude, it was pass interference, and he hit him helmet to helmet, and the dude didn't call. The referee retired after that. He retired, and you know, and then again, it's a call where you can cry about it, but on that one, those calls weren't even reviewable. So I think they need to put that back in again. They took it out, they put it in, they took it out. They need to make that where that's reviewable. But they're trying to say, those type of calls, we want to take those out because we want to slow down the game. But man, it's been some misses, man.
What do you think the referee is thinking when they keep showing it on the big giant jumbotrons? They show the thing like 5 times, and he can see he goofed up on the call. What do you think be going through his head, or you think some of them are just that arrogant? I don't care what that thing is showing. That's got a bad angle. I mean, what do you think those guys are thinking?
You know,
when everybody like see, you know, the offensive player create everything, literally grab and put a guy.
I don't know what they're thinking. But you know, the thing of it is this, and I think sometimes guys realize, I missed one. You know, sometimes I think that's there. Other times, I don't believe that these guys even think about it. I don't think that they, you know, they keep playing because their argument can be just like a player misses a shot, misses a play, or what have you. Sometimes I miss a call, and I get it.
Yeah, but that's the difference, because you know why, you know, and you know, you hear that argument all the time. No, you're different. You're tasked with keeping the law of the game, so to speak, and making sure all things is fair and equal. The player is tasked with being able to create dynamic plays or score or assist on that and this, that, and the other. And it's different. And because we realize that the player contribution is a different way than the official's contribution, you're tasked with having your eyes on that. And it seems hard for me to get it. Like, the player can't go back, man, I missed that shot. Let me keep looking at it on replay and maybe I can see it go in. He can't do that. But the officials, when they they can see over and over again. And I wonder if some of them are so arrogant in that, hey, whatever. I don't. That's the part I don't understand. Now, some of them have the attitude that, hey, you know what? I missed it, man. I'm gonna fix this on the other end. Case in
Exactly.
point, there was a call like that last night in Joseph in them game, but but I don't understand when they show like I get it on them bang bang calls, like a bang bang play. It's like, I mean, hey, it's a tough one. Hey, you got to make a decision. It's in it's in real time, and you can't see that. Yeah, you look back and it's close. Oh yeah, he actually like out of bounds play. He actually did go off his fingertips. And the guy really couldn't see that, and you get it. And then he see it, and he can kind of tell, but he can't really tell. He can't really overturn it, but he think he did. I get it. But on like an obvious play, it's like a joker coming up, taking a baseball bat and clubbing another guy upside his head, man. And it being witnessed and everybody sees, and they like, well, I really couldn't tell if he hit him in the head with the baseball bat or he stumbled and fell on it. I mean, it's like that, man. It's just ignorance, because it's like, I don't understand the official's mindset when he sees that. And it's like just a ridiculous, like that was a ridiculous call. That was nothing controversial or anything. That's just a ridiculous call. You can clearly see tug of war by the offensive player, and I mean,
Okay.
it's confusing to me.
Okay.
And so it makes me wonder, because these officials are supposed to be unbiased, man, when they step on that field. That make me wonder, man, because they are human.
There ain't no way.
There's one thing about that is after you make that call, and if you guys don't go back and pick up a flag right away, they have to let the call stand too. And I understand that. And a lot of times they're not looking at the big screen. The officials aren't looking at the big screen. And unless they review the call, they go on to the next play, because you tell them, look, don't second guess yourself out there. Now sometimes you come together, because what usually happens is they throw a flag, one official sees it another way, and they come together and they talk about it. But sometimes it is, okay, out there in the secondary, because that was in the secondary, and I was watching the old boy go out of bounds over here, where I was watching to see wasn't a holding call over here. I didn't see that, and so I can't make a determination, and they talk after games, and they know that every game they miss calls, or they may make one that was, they got it wrong every game, because of the fact that human element. Now, I don't want to lay into bias or what have you on that. Sometimes I have my thought on that, but yeah, a lot of that was on the officials. But I want to say this going forward, man. What do you guys think about old boy with the Ravens the other night, man?
Oh my God. I'm gonna let somebody else talk, 'cause I feel like I've been talking too much. So I'm gonna let y'all go first, and then I'm gonna have a say.
I am evidently out of the loop. I didn't see anything with them. What happened with them?
The Ravens won on, man.
How I turned the game off, because me and Gordon was actually on the phone talking for a few minutes during that time, and I hadn't spent any time yet, with the family. So I was like, well, I gotta get off here and I gotta spend some time with the family. And plus, I was like, well, Ravens, they're losing this game, about to lose this game. And while I'm not a Ravens fan, I do like Jackson. Actually, I like all the Ohio State players that they have the sideline right now, anyway. But and so, I'm looking at. I like the Ohio State players though, man. But but I was just thinking, okay, it's a wrap. The Ravens lost this game. I was like, man, they got their butt kicked. And then the next day, man, I catch the news, and I'm thinking like they're talking about maybe a game from another year. Initially, I'm like, how in man and how in the world did they come back and manage to win that game? Man, that that goes to the point about, and actually that probably made me madder at Baker Mayfield because them winning that game was all about Lamar Jackson. And I'm how in the world did they win that game? That's crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that was a great game. So it was a great game for the Cowboys last week too.
Yeah.
They started off slow though.
Yeah.
But they ended up real hot.
I want
And
to
then
before
Trayvon Diggs, man, woo.
before we switch gears into there, I want to give Nate his counseling. I've been thinking about this since we started here.
Go sit on the counselor chair there. Nate.
The chair now, Nate.
Yeah, you got a reclining chair. Lay back, Nate. I'm about to counsel you.
I'm laid back. I want to hear this, man. Help me, because I'm struggling, man.
As a lot of you guys know, most everybody that knows me knows, I've been a Browns fan since 1964. I've watched them through the worst, through 31-1. I've watched them through the best, which was probably in earlier years, the Brian Sipe years and Kozar years. However, I think Brian Sipe was actually a better quarterback. Okay, that being said, I not only watched the game itself and get my own opinions. This is why I'm so spirited with them. I watched the fans. I watched the reaction from them and everything like that. And in the best years is when you hear the worst complaints about the Browns. No doubt. I've watched it 4 or 5 times now. So this doesn't surprise me. And it shouldn't surprise you. This is just normal reaction. The fans are into it. They're wound up wanting this damn team to win. They know it can win. And when they screw it up, which there was an old Bernie Kosar song that said something to the effect of, "We're the Cleveland Browns. When we fuck up, we don't fuck around." Excuse my French. But that all being said,
Oh, boy. Might as well mess it up right.
might as well. I'll put an adult disclaimer on this in a little while. But that all being said, the simple fact of it is, when the Browns are good, that's when you have the most disgruntled fans. And I'm seeing a lot of that this year that I haven't seen in the past. Even when they weren't winning a game for a whole season, they weren't this bad. And now you're on the flip side of that. So there's nowhere to go for Cleveland but up. And it's you have to realize that they've probably got another couple of years that they're going to be good. They're going to lose some stuff this year that's probably going to just leave. But there again, some of it's not doing them that much good. That Clowney deal, that just plain, as a Browns fan, that ticked me off. Watching him walk up and down the sideline like nothing was wrong. Why wasn't he in there? Oh, I got a sore shoulder.
Yeah. They're looking
I have seen players and on that Browns team that played with broken bones. What was that? There was a quarterback back about 6 or 7 years ago that they were playing in San Francisco. He got both his legs broke and still played.
Hey, look at Baker right now. He's got that bum left shoulder right now.
Don't get Nate started.
Yeah. I was thinking that Baker's playing with he's playing with at least one blind eye and
the thing of it is, the thing that I'm trying to get to here is just don't get disappointed and all wound up over this stuff, because it's going to get better. At one point I would have said it couldn't have got much worse, as far as any of those players go. But then I think we're on the upswing, and fortunately Pittsburgh is on the downswing, and we're going to be better than them. And hang on a second.
Pittsburgh lost Juju for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And all I got to say about Pittsburgh is
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Pittsburgh! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks!
I knew you wanted me to do that.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. But now on this, Pat, okay, we say about Klein, man, you got one bum shoulder. Come on, get back in there. You got 2 shoulders.
Damn right. You know, you're getting an awful lot of money for standing over there on the sideline with nothing wrong with you.
Oh, boy.
And you couldn't convince me there was something wrong with him.
What?
That a little bit of a shot of Novocaine or something wouldn't have taken care of so you could play in the game. I don't know what. And this guy's got a history of that stuff happening. That's why he can't stay on a damn team.
You know, they'll be okay. And I did have to remind my brother that they played a very good team.
Yes, they played a good team and they give it a hell of a game.
They did. And there was a couple calls that didn't go their way, very crucial calls. So in all that, they're you know, I'm not writing them off. And
Yeah, I
I'm
guess
gonna
you
say
got a
this.
point.
A couple of reasons I'm not writing them off. Because first off, KC looks like a whole lot of people was getting KC's number right now.
Oh.
And one of the things that KC, okay, they have offense, some offense, because they don't run the ball very well, but they have no defense. Their defense is not good at all, you know. And so, you know, you got some things where you guys could be there. And when I look at Lamar Jackson, you know, I look at the Ravens, and the Ravens are Lamar Jackson. This dude got to get out there and run for 100 yards and throw for 300 to win games. He's not going to do that against everybody. So, and all you got to do is get there. And they're going to lose some games. They're going to lose a game or two that maybe they should have won. So hopefully they on it, because come on, man, we figured Cleveland was going to lose at least 4 games this year.
I had him picked for 3.
I didn't have them losing 4 games. I didn't see that.
I had him picked for 3 myself.
Yeah, I didn't have them picking losing those 4 games. To me, that team is loaded.
So is Dallas, but they're gonna lose it. They're gonna drop another game somewhere.
I feel like Cleveland was. Here's what's got me crazy. I felt like early on, initially, I felt like Cleveland was head and shoulders above Dallas. I didn't even feel like Dallas deserved mention in the same conversation with Cleveland. However, I clearly have flip-flopped on that now. But, and just looking at this, in the AFC North right now, Cleveland, man, is in 3rd place, man. I'm like, come on, man. They're behind Cincinnati and the Ravens. I'm like, come on, man.
2 luckiest teams right now, you know, because of
Lucky?
kicks.
I'm going to tell you what, I'll pick Cleveland any day of the week over Cincinnati. Because I've watched Cincinnati in 3 games now, and that quarterback's got no protection. He got clobbered again last Sunday and ended up with a throat laceration.
I mean, just think, they could have easily, they just like they lost that, they could have very well won that game last week. I mean, we all saw that game. I don't know if you guys watched that game. They talking about a barn burner, man.
Man, yeah, that Green Bay Cincinnati game. Yeah, you're right. But I say this, and I'm saying there's no way you give me Cleveland over Cincinnati. There's no way.
I don't know. I think I would have to roll with Cincy.
All right, I think this kind of rolls into our picks there, I think, too.
Okay, wait a minute. All right, that's the end of our counseling session now, Nate. That'll be, let's see, it was 9 minutes at $100 a minute. Will that be cash or check?
You know, put it on my tab. Look,
It's right there. It's
we're going to see if Cleveland doesn't crush this week with all of these players on COVID, out because of COVID protocol. Oh my, it's gonna
Who's
be a
the
sad.
player? What players are out with the COVID though? That's the question though.
Well, you figure you got never underestimate a head coaches, not being out. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean that's a valuable piece to miss. That's an extremely
And
valuable piece to
if
miss.
he's not here, he can't call it in either.
Mhm.
So that's going to be assistant coaching. And there ain't nothing like a head coach. We've said that before. I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen with where the team Gruden had. Because there again, you've just lost one hell of a coach, even though he did what he did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they just don't go buy a Chucky doll and set on the sideline.
I guess we'll see what happens with them. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna say this, and looking at Gruden and looking at his stats and everything, he wasn't that impressive, Now, and I have my own thoughts and things about whether or not he should have been fired. What he said, a lot of it wasn't cool. A lot of what he said was years ago. He did force their hand in the fact that when they brought all that ugly stuff out, and then there was questions about, well, if he's saying that to people, what are the people that he's saying it to, And so is it they're just hanging him out to dry, But also the other side of that is because a lot of things that were said, I guess for me, maybe because I got thick skin, and if it comes down to trash talking, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna win anyway because I can talk it. My brother-in-law will tell you I can talk it, but I just don't.
Yeah, he said some crazy things, man. But and to your point, he said it a long time ago. But at the same time, everything wasn't a long time ago. The stuff as it related to the kneeling and all that stuff. So, he said some whacked up stuff. But to be honest, man, this really wasn't about Gruden. This was about, they tried to make it about Gruden. This was Washington trying to deflect. And they tried to, and it worked for like what, 2 days? And then it went back, people paused and said, wait a minute, hold up now. This is about Washington's culture, not Gruden. Okay, so, okay, fine. You're not going to deflect. We'll just say that during his tenure, he was, and he's a demonstration of the very types of things that we're referring to. So they were slick in spinning that back around because this was never supposed to have been about Gruden. It's just that in their search, they came across Gruden stuff.
Yeah.
And then Gruden stuff wind up being so ridiculous until, man, they had to, say something about it. And then Washington thought that was going to get all the heat off of him, and it didn't work. But so they're back, feet back, back to the fire now. So
I just got this off of a tweet on Twitter. Mary Kay Cabot at 8:17 last night announced this, breaking Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury has tested positive for COVID and is out for this week's game. So they have no head coach.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, well, and enough with Gruden, although, like I say, a lot of it, well, I'll say this, people have their opinions. He just happened to have his down in writing, now, because if we're honest, we all have some thoughts or sayings that might find some folks may find offensive, So with all that, I'm moving past that. I just had to touch on it just because it was out there. But I'm kind of like Tony Dungy on that, man. Hey, that's done. Let's move past that. On that. Now let's talk about some picks though, because we didn't hardly talk about what's their name, Cowboys.
Cowboys. Cowboys.
Probably ain't no need. I like that
Cowgirls.
shirt.
Yeah, I like that shirt too, man. Yeah, we need to get Nate one.
Yeah. Come on over to the other side. Nate.
You know what? I need to have Stephen A. Smith on here.
You need to get yourself a suit coat.
Right now, he's eating a lot of humble pie, man.
You know what? You know what though? I'll say this about Stephen A. Man, that dude looked like he sounded like he's been walking backwards here lately. Or I want to ask him, how does that foot and mouth taste? If he was sitting here right now, I wonder. I didn't know he liked jam that much, toe jam, but because that's what he been eating.
Yeah, because Dallas been kicking butt, man. You ain't got nothing. You can't say nothing. Dallas is looking real good, and they look to me. Last week they showed some resilience, man. They looking real good. So.
Yeah, there was a song back in the early or late '70s that referred to toe jam football. I can't remember what the name of that song was. I'm gonna have to look that up.
But yeah, also in this, as far as stats go, hey, the 1 and 2, as far as running the ball, Cleveland and Dallas.
Yeah, Cleveland's beast. Well,
and
Dallas not good that I hate to see Nick out. Slick Nick, but
the thing about it is Dallas's quarterback right now is playing a lot better than Cleveland's quarterback.
Yeah. All right. So in fairness, Cleveland should be undefeated, and that's the reason why I'm angry.
Yeah.
Because Kansas City is bums.
Oh yeah. Well, let's say updated standings right now is Gordon's in the lead with 54 wins. Nate and Dad are right second, tied for second, 52, and I'm right at 50.
Wow.
Okay. So, coming up this week, we got some good games too coming out. I noticed. Let me bring up the. Come on. All right, we got some games coming up this week that are pretty good, and some that look like the first one's Miami at Jacksonville. That's
where I'd like to see Jacksonville win that game. I got to go with Miami.
Is Jacksonville, or let's see who's out. I got to look to see who's out with Jacksonville. So let's see.
I think what is it?
McCaffrey?
No, not McCaffrey, but Tua is out still. So.
Oh yeah.
Is Urban still at the club?
Yeah, he's still at the club. He's at the club with his brother who got beat down last week by the Buckeyes.
Man. I gotta go. But they're playing Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, they're playing in Jacksonville.
I'm still taking Miami.
I'm taking
about a battle of the bottom feeders.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Jacksonville.
Yeah, they may win that because they playing there at home. That's the only thing that.
So what about you, Dad?
Urban is due for a win, but I'm still gonna take Miami.
Okay. And Nate was Miami. What about you, Nate?
God, that's such a hard time, man. Excuse me, hold on, something popped up in the screen. Talking about a battle of the Ofer and the Onefer.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta, oh my God. It does seem like Jacksonville is due for a win, but
if they're playing at home,
it seems like they should be due for a win, but I mean, it's all.
Yeah, they're playing at home, but I don't know if the crowd will have much to do with it because I don't think they're selling very many tickets.
You just haven't figured out, they haven't learned how to win yet. And I don't know if Miami's going to let them learn on them either, but Miami figure they ain't got one more win than the Ofer got. But I'm going to have to roll with Miami, man.
Okay. Yeah, the next game is KC at Chicago, or Green Bay at Chicago.
Green Bay at Chicago. Chicago balling right now, man. Defense looking good. Man, they balling.
You know what? One of the things to consider, and I don't think, you got a gamer in Aaron Rodgers, but the other thing of it is this, is that their defense isn't very good. But I'm gonna go ahead and take Green Bay.
Okay.
He probably learned from the game with Cincy.
I'm gonna go with Green Bay.
What do you guys? Oh, wait a minute. That Miami game is not at Jacksonville. That thing's a 9:30 a.m. game. That's in London. What do you guys think of those games?
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. That's the very early game, and I'm still taking Miami. Definitely taking Miami. Yeah.
What do you guys think about those games? Good idea? Bad idea?
As far as that over in London,
Yeah.
I understand why they're doing it, and I don't know if it'll ever catch on like everything else. But from a marketing standpoint, you look at what they've done with basketball. And before we close out the show, we may touch on basketball just a tad, but anyway, I think. Well, they need to keep trying. Maybe they keep trying, but I don't think football, American football, is going to catch on anytime soon over there.
All right. So, who do you got? Green Bay or Chicago, Nate?
Man, it's a hard one for me, man. That
Yeah,
Chicago team's been turning it around, but I just don't know if Green Bay can lay two goose eggs in a row. I mean, they stunk against it was a good game.
It was just
For me, I mean, against
kicker.
yeah, but I don't know. In Chicago, man, Chicago's on the up. Man, it's hard for me, man. But I'm gonna have to go with I gotta go with experience, man. I gotta go with Rodgers.
All right.
Part of me, by the time that we get through our picks, so I may have to circle back and change that one. But for right now, I'm a Rodgers.
What about you, Dad?
Great.
I like if Fields plays. I think they got a shot of winning because he's actually learned quite a bit in the last few weeks. And I still have to go with Aaron Rodgers, though. I'll take Green Bay.
All right. Next game up is Bengals at Detroit.
Bengals, don't waste time. Ain't nobody picking Detroit. Might as well put the Bengals all the way across. They picking that too.
But Joe Burrow getting better every game, man.
If he plays. Of course, I probably should with the...
Yeah, they'll probably do more silent count. That's what I was hearing with him.
Yeah, I'll take Cincinnati.
All right. Houston at Indianapolis. I'm going to Indiana.
Man, Houston just don't I
Tell
guess
you
the
though,
Colts
man,
are playing better, huh?
doggone Colts ain't won but one game.
Yeah.
Houston hadn't won but what, 2 games?
They ain't won but one game.
1 game, okay. Well, the good part about it is at least one of those teams is going to be will have 2 wins.
Mm-hmm.
They might have a draw. It's hard.
They're playing in Houston, right?
No, they're playing in Indiana.
Yeah, they play at the Colts.
Yeah, okay. I'm taking Colts.
I think I will too.
Okay. What about you, Nate?
I'm taking the Colts because I think Houston is bums.
All right. Next game is Rams at the Giants.
I'm taking Rams
Based
because
on the calls they get, it'll probably be the Rams. They're gonna
West Coast team. West Coast team. Give me the Rams.
Okay.
And one reason is that man, the Giants are so beat up
Yeah, they got too many hurt people right now.
They are beat down. Oh my goodness! You couldn't ask for a freakier uh, ankle injury than that of what's the
That's
name?
a rough injury
Saquon.
too, man.
Saquon. I mean, it just they're trying to slow their running and they're slowing down and he kind of
Yeah.
I'm like,
Rough.
Okay. So the next game we got is Kansas City at Washington.
You know what? One would think that's Kansas City, but the way they plan, because they've been on, it's like they're actually declining
yeah.
game by game.
You know what though? They got Josh Gordon. He's gonna get more targets. And I'm gonna say this.
So he going. So what you trying to say is he gonna come out of his little brown bag?
Say, man. All I'm saying.
He's gonna get targets out of his little bag of tricks.
Yeah.
Silly kids, tricks are for kids.
That makes it sound like you're gonna be selling them on the sideline.
Oh boy.
But no, I'm taking KC on that game, man. The Washington football team just hadn't shown me enough. All I was hearing was how great that defense was going to be, and they've been watching them play football is almost like torture, man. It's like, man, I could surely find something better to do with my time.
All right, so I'm gonna go slight edge KC.
Yeah, slight edge KC.
KC,
It'll be a close game.
Yeah. All right, next game is Minnesota at Carolina. I'm going Carolina on that one.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a bounce back for Carolina.
Yeah,
because they also got the addition of Stephen Gilmore. So.
Oh yeah, Stephon Gilmore. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm going with Carolina as well.
I'll take Carolina.
Now he's coming back too, so we hadn't really seen much what he's doing. I mean, before he was a stud, you know.
Yeah, the next game is a pretty good game here. Is the Chargers at the Ravens.
Ooh-wee. I'm gonna tell you like this.
It should be the Chargers. What? Ain't hard to count out old Jack.
West Coast team, I'll take the Chargers.
Now they're playing up there, and the Chargers, again, I'm sorry, man. To me, all the Chargers had was that quarterback. Not like they have the best defense in the world.
How's that any difference between the Ravens?
The Ravens, excuse me. That's all they have is their quarterback, excuse me. I think the Chargers are a more complete team. And, heck, let's see. They've only lost, one game?
Mm-hmm.
Both of them only lost one game.
Yeah, and
but Ravens been playing with a rabbit foot.
Yeah, Chargers lost to the Cowboys, and they got beat by a good football team.
Ravens been playing with a rabbit foot.
Yeah, they are. And they could easily be 2-3.
And I'm definitely taking the Chargers.
I'm going Chargers also.
I really don't believe Ravens are that solid.
They've been playing with a rabbit's foot, man. I mean, this stuff that they've been winning, man. I mean, it's been like.
And don't get me wrong, in watching that game, that Monday night game, what I saw from Lamar Jackson and the boys was this: they went into Cincinnati went into prevent they played a prevent defense the rest of the game. And so, it's like, okay, we're going to keep them in front of them. They played real soft. They played a soft zone, like a cover two. And they were afraid to run it, Lamar. So they were only rushing 3 and 4. And you give him all day or he's just breaking loose.
Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, you got to give it up. Ravens are very well coached.
So who are you gonna pick?
Oh, I gotta roll with the man. I gotta roll with the Chargers, man. Rabbit foot, man. Ravens, man. Rabbit foot, man.
Okay.
Their record, they have a 4-1 record, man, and they should not be 4-1. I mean, they should have lost the other night. They lost the one on a ridiculous field goal. You know, I mean,
against Detroit.
Yeah.
Okay. Next game is Arizona at Cleveland.
Oh man, good game. I'm taking Cleveland. I'm taking Cleveland. Arizona is they hadn't lost the game. They're the only undefeated team, but it's their turn to go down, and they're playing in Cleveland
without their head coach.
You think that I think the officials are going to are on the hot seat from everybody talking about the stinking calls, and so I think they're going to be watching that, and I think they're going to be watching it, but they don't have no.
I'm going Cleveland because of this. Also, now defense has got to redeem themselves, and Kyler Murray likes to run.
Well, I don't think they're going to redeem themselves against Arizona, but I just don't. I think in the absence of a head coach, I just think that they're at a deficit.
But you know what? And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this about the head coach. Okay, they have an offensive coordinator out there as well.
Yeah.
So with that being said, a lot of times though, the head coach, a lot of times, you know what he is? He's a rah-rah guy, man. You know, Mike McCarthy, for instance. Mike McCarthy is a rah-rah guy. Dallas has a defensive coordinator and an offensive coordinator, and Mike McCarthy don't call plays.
Wow, that's a little different. But most time that head coach is an executive. You know, he makes that look. The buck stops there. Okay.
Yeah. Win or lose, a lot of times
what we're gonna do.
They are figureheads. They're figureheads. I mean, and yeah. So I'm definitely going with Cleveland.
Okay. What about you, Dad?
Well, considering everything, considering that Cleveland lost last week, and that Kevin Stefanski does not have a record of losing 2 games in a row. Plus the fact that Arizona's going to be missing a coach and a couple of defensive players, from what I heard. I'll take Cleveland.
Yeah, I think if Arizona was not missing the coach and the few players, I think that I would go with Arizona. But with them missing players, I think this is a big game. I think that eyes are going to be on deck because of the calls last week, and I'm gonna go with Cleveland. But yeah, this will be it's gonna be a barn burner. This ain't gonna be no easy walk in the park here.
It's liable to be 40 points again.
And the unfortunate part about this game, if this game gets in the 40s again, I think Cleveland's losing. But I don't think it's going to be an easy game. It's going to be points scored, but I don't think this is going that high.
All right. Next game is Vegas at Denver.
I'll go first. Okay. The fact that Vegas is Vegas, they're another team that plays with a rabbit's foot, but they do know how to wrap a game. They proved that against Baltimore, and ended up winning that in overtime. I got to go with them. I'll take Vegas.
They're playing in Denver.
Doesn't matter.
I'm going with Vegas too. I was just trying to get you picked the other way. I'm trying to get
it ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
Once I make my mind up, it's like a steel trap. You can ask my wife.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm going with Denver on this one.
Shawn, you picked wrong. At the end of the day, Denver's going to be a 500 team. I'm going with Vegas.
Hey, but Vegas is another one without a head coach. So.
Yep. Yeah, they don't have a head coach.
Yeah.
All right, Dallas at New England.
I'm going with
I'm
Dallas.
going with Dallas, man.
I'm going with Dallas by 2 scores.
It's going to be a barn burner, but you know what? Dallas has looked at that tape and they watch how many Tom Brady performed against Tom Brady, and they know how they performed against Tom Brady, and they ready for this young version of Tom Brady, man.
You know what I'm going to say about this game? You know, and everybody's talking about, you know, Belichick takes something away. You know what? He's not going to be able to stop the run. They may not rush for 200 yards. They've been averaging over 200 yards a game here lately. They may not rush for 200 yards, but they're going to run on these boys too. You watch.
Dak is the boy. He's a smart quarterback.
Yeah, but they're going to run on him. And if he does take that away, he sells out. His tight end is going to have a great game because they're going to play a cover 2. They're going to put 2 guys back deep, and tight ends are going to ball out.
Yeah.
I was going to take New England just to tick you guys off, but I think I'll take Dallas.
Go for it. Take New England. Take New England. You're just going to put me further here. Oh, boy.
All right, the next game is Seattle at Pitt. I'm going to have to go with Pittsburgh on this one.
Yeah, man. Seattle ain't looking good here lately.
They're looking awful, ain't they?
I'm taking Pittsburgh.
And they don't have Russ.
You know what?
Wait a minute.
Seattle,
Pittsburgh is up. What's the name is out?
Seattle look awful, but
Juju.
Pittsburgh got.
Oh, my goodness.
They got some new injuries, don't they?
Yeah, Juju's out.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
I'm rolling with Seattle, man.
Man, I think
Geno Smith era right now for Seattle.
you're right. You're right, though. They playing Geno Smith, so you probably better go Pittsburgh. Well, I'm taking Pittsburgh.
I'm rolling with Seattle. Pittsburgh's sorry right now.
I'm going Pitt.
We know who Pat's taking.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Pittsburgh! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks!
Oh, I hope Seattle don't show up in them same uniforms, though. Monday night.
Oh, my God, yes. That would probably make them play angry.
On Big Bird seats, man. I mean, man, leave that stuff alone, man.
And just in case there's any question, I'll take Seattle. Just because of the uniforms.
Okay. Monday night matchup. Buffalo at Tennessee.
Ooh.
Buff.
Oh, boy. Well, we may see some Henry run angry again. But
I'm going Buffalo.
I'm going Buffalo, too.
God, I like Tennessee. But I don't know if they've got enough to pull it off. Buffalo's good, too.
Yeah, Buffalo's top team in the AFC
Buffalo is
right
for
now.
real.
All right, I'll take Buffalo. I hate going against Tennessee, though.
All right, now let me bring up the...
And then the following Thursday, another good game.
Yeah, Denver at Cleveland.
I'm taking Cleveland again.
Yeah, Cleveland should win that one.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, too.
Even though they'll probably lose against the Cardinals, but they should win that one.
I'll take Cleveland.
Okay, that's the picks for the week.
We should be coming up on a bye week for Cleveland, aren't we?
Bye week for them, I think, is like week.
Yeah, I think they already had a bye week. They had a bye week in Chicago.
Yeah, that bye week is that later in the year when they have to play Baltimore before and afterwards.
So Chicago didn't play at all that week. Bye week. But so NBA preseason. So what do y'all think, man?
Dallas Mavericks, I know it's preseason. I don't lay much weight on that because, and I watched a game the other night against Milwaukee, and Luka, Hardaway, or Porzingis, they didn't play. Now, mind you, Giannis played, and what's his name? What's that guard? What's the guard?
Holiday.
Holiday, and they had some guys playing, but uh, they've been interesting to watch, and I'm kind of excited about them with a new head coach and everything. With Jason Kidd's new head coach, and supposedly Porzingis is healthy, so I'm kind of excited about them. The Lakers,
Yeah, they're Lakers, man. They're 0-6 in the preseason.
And they got a lot of hurt folks. But I did watch their last preseason, and Papa James is starting to get back to form. Man, he went off for 30. And
I just don't think James has got it anymore. He's got too much other stuff going on.
I don't think he get. I don't think he has it in terms of night in and night out. I think he's too old personally, but I tell you, man, he played well. But what gets me, man, is AD is flat out stinking up the place. And I get it, like I said, and so is Russ too. Russ is coming around, but he's kind of stinking. In fact, the whole team really stinking up the place. They look like misfits. So I don't know.
Talk about misfits. Ben Simmons.
They say he showed up though.
Yeah, he showed up. I don't think he playing, but he showed up. Because he don't want to lose his money.
It's amazing how that works, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Unless you Kyrie, but
I think personally, man, if I'm Brooklyn, man, that team is so loaded, man. I'm like, stop. I wish people would stop with the foolishness.
They are still a contender without Kyrie. Yeah. Yes, they are.
They're still the favorites without Kyrie. I'm like, that team is low. Did you see how they reloaded, man?
But you know what? Though? I'm going to say this. This is what they look at. They see Harden and KD. As far as they're concerned, those other guys are just mere role players.
Marcus Aldridge, man, that's offensive to refer to him as a role player. I mean, not only
you gotta look at a guy who retired briefly and came back.
And man, does he look like Portland? Man, he looks really good.
Yeah,
Very awesome on the defensive end and offense. He looks very good.
And that was the thing about him. He was AD before AD.
Right now, he looks better than AD.
So now, so with all that being said, I agree with you that he's going to be a true third option. He's not going to be coming off the bench.
No, he's definitely starting. He's not only starting. He's an influencer. He's not. Yeah.
He's going to have some big without Kyrie in there. Actually, I like their chemistry better. I mean,
you don't even need Kyrie. Don't get me wrong, Kyrie.
That dude is
Kyrie a bad boy.
He's a bad boy.
Need that. The
but
team is ridiculous.
Well, my thing is this: Kyrie is kind of a square peg you're trying to fit in a round hole almost everywhere he goes. He's a bad boy, but he just don't because he's so.
So let me ask y'all this: what do y'all think of his COVID rewind or whatever you want to call it, his spin? I'm like, he come up with this garbage, man, about he's the voice for the people, man, who lost their jobs because of the COVID vaccine issues and concerns. I'm like, dude, man, come on, man, that was not your position.
He wants to have a cause. He wants to be something bigger than basketball. And I think is his problem. And he comes across as a nut job. Mm-hmm. He just comes across as a nut job to me. I heard people getting on Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp and all these people for, talking about how they going after him and all this stuff. My thing is this, Nate. If I quit showing up to work, guess what they gonna do?
Oh, they gonna get you, and you ain't gonna get no kind of sympathy.
They gonna quit paying me, man.
Everybody gonna look at you like you out of your mind.
So my thing is this: at the end of the day, basketball is a job for him. If he don't like that, go find him a different job.
Actually, take all your money you got, man, and retire.
True. I'm saying that, and so, but my thing is this: this is the rules that my company puts in place. That's the rules they put in place. If they want to put in a certain dress code and tell me that I have to wear slacks every day, then you know what? Guess what I'm gonna do, man? I'm gonna put on slacks every day. Now, granted, now the days I work from home, or if they tell me I no longer can work remote, I have to. It's 100% site, and I have to come into the office. My option is to say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that, or no, I'm not, and I'll see you later. Come on, man. The basketball's a company; they have the right to do things the way they want to do them. Yep. It's kind of like the whole take a knee, don't take a knee thing. You know what? You have the right to do it the way you want to do it. You the boss.
And this is I don't even know how I put this in there with the take a knee, don't take a knee thing. There was a real pause there. This right here, man, scientific evidence now has proven that, that, hey, man, look, you don't take the shot, you catch COVID, the risk of you coming out and not coming out of it is influenced by that shot, period. Scientific evidence, proves and supports that now.
And yeah, but the whole thing again is even in the whole need, don't take a knee. Your cause is your cause and all that, and that's great. But you know what? My calls, I can check my calls at the door when I go to work. Just me. I can check my calls at the door when I go to work. So with all that being said, man, now, the dude is, and they've given him multiple opportunities.
I'm like, man, to me, man, I'm like, just send him back in there. And my thing is, man, I require him. Hey, look, you got to show up for work. You got to get the shot so you show up for work. If you don't, we're gonna have to let you go, because if they don't, and it's, I'm pretty sure they probably put it that way, because if you don't, then you on the hook for his contract, and there's some issues about the contract. But hey, if it's like, man, you're in breach of the contract, then you're not on the hook for that contract, then you'll have to come to some sort of terms where y'all can separate, but I'm like, man, let this dude go.
I think he's selfish.
It's ridiculous.
He is selfish as a player, and it shows a whole lot. It says a whole lot about who he is as a person. But beyond that, the other thing is this. College football the other week, and the whole, of course, that Texas OU game, that was insane.
That was the starting position, right?
A&M beating
Alabama. How about that?
Man, I love that, and I've been waiting for the replay. Man, they won't replay that game. They always replaying the Alabama games during
Roll Tide. We ain't playing that game. Roll Tide.
I want to see that. I want to see their heads see that.
They got beat by A&M, man.
They got beat by an A&M, an unranked team, and yet I
don't understand this. You got beat by them, and you still number 5. When Ohio State lost, man, they went all the way outside of the top 10 initially. I'm like, come on, man.
You can't tell me there's bias right there.
Yeah, they put them right there so that they can still be able to, contention to be in the playoffs.
The Ohio State University can't lose today.
Ohio State.
They can't lose today. They got a bye week.
Yeah, they can't win. Okay, they can't win either. But What about Iowa, man? Those boys balling, man.
Yeah, they balling.
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati balling, but then people talking about now they ain't playing nobody, but hey, they ranked number 3. I'm not so sure if they should be ranked number 3.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And part of it is let's face it. If they were playing against Iowa and Ohio State and those teams, how would they fare? So I understand what people are saying, but for years, man, look at Clemson, man. Look at Clemson for years. They had one of the easiest because they're what conference they played in.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, it wasn't anybody else over there any good. They had one other team?
Tech.
Yeah.
But right now, I think the top team in the ACC right now is Pitt. They got the heck of a quarterback going right now. Kid named Pickett.
Well, I just want to see how Bama acts from here on out, and I guess I'm gonna have to start watching some A&M games because we can watch A&M games here. We can pick them up here.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see how they do.
But that kid though for Ohio State, man, 2 games in a row, man. That's the first for Ohio State, in history. We're throwing for over 400 yards in each game. With that,
they've been looking really good on both sides of the ball. They're turning around. They're improving.
He's looking between him and Travion. They're looking like Heisman front runners now.
Well, especially since your boy about the Heisman front runner losing the starting role. Oh man, yeah, that's so. It's some good stuff.
Question: that kid from is it Minnesota? The Ibrahim or whatever his name is.
He's out for the year.
And you say he is? He's out for a year.
He's not. He's a senior too, I believe. So.
Really? Yeah. Oh, he was a senior? Because, man, that dude there, Nate said he's from up there.
They also lost their second, I think they lost their second string running back, too.
Wow. Man, but that Ibrahim, man, I think that boy there.
The bad boy, ain't he?
I think if he comes back healthy, truly healthy, he's going to be a shocker in the NFL. He's going to be a shocker. Because that dude there, he's the real deal. I was watching his style of run. He was explosive and powerful.
Right.
I like him.
All right, we need to wrap this because
okay.
I just saw what time it is. We can let it all go till next week now.
Okay.
Appreciate anybody that's tuned in here. If you've seen us or see us on YouTube, please give us a subscribe. And I think there's a little button on there to a little bell. If you ding that, you'll get notified whenever we start our shows. Want to appreciate everybody that's tuned in. If you're on any of the other social media sites that we're on, please find a way to give us a like or give us a comment. We do appreciate everything we get there. Anybody want to wrap it up?
All right. Thank you for tuning on. First off, thank everyone again for tuning in to Four Guys on Sports. And it's been a great, exciting week. And we have several good games coming up this week. We hadn't touched that much on college football. But once again, thank you. And we'll see you next week.
Have a good week.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic week.
This has been a Crooked River Media production.